Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and today, well, we are on our way to the last, what I call the last wrecking yard, or junkyard. We'll just call it junkyard, because that's really what it is, in Salt Lake City. So, what has happened, the city changed some ordinances, and you had to have like a fence, because you can't, heaven forbid, you look at a bunch of, old junky cars out in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's not out in the middle of nowhere because the city has creeped in on all of these places. And so with the new ordinances, you got to have these high fences. We can't be polluting the ground. So you've got to put cement under everything. And you can't have a car sitting there for more than X number of months. They have to be moved, meaning for recyclers that you take things in, you recycle the parts, and then you crush what's left. With these old junkyards, these things have been sitting for 40-50 years. Well, that's not going to cut it anymore. So stick with Mad Dog Merv today as we go and we take a look at the last junkyard in Salt Lake City.
The place we are going to, the street at the very top is 700 South, and the street that's kind of on the left-hand side is 4400 West. And this is on the west side of Salt Lake City in an industrial area. It used to be in the middle of nowhere, but now it's an industrial area. Anyway, just to you can see the lot there. This is back in 2022. You can see a lot of cars. You can also see a burned out area, which we'll talk about in a bit. Anyway, how I found out about this going on, having lunch with my friend Mark. He drives by this all the time, and he said, "Hey, have you seen the sign up over there at the wrecking yard that says they are getting rid of stuff?" No, I hadn't. So I drive down here. You can see this nice, beautiful new fence. We're going to go back for a few years, though, and look at this from a few years ago when I did some other video on wrecking yards. And this is 4400 West. I'm looking into the yard. You can see there's a Maverick grabber. There was a Comet, a few other things I could make out. This is about the area where the sign is now. And you can see, looking in at that time, all of the cars. Look at this old T-Bird on top of stuff here. And this beauty. Oh, wow. There was some neat stuff in there. But this was back in the days he wouldn't let you in there. And it was very frustrating. And he had reason to hide what he had. Here's an aerial view from several years back. And you notice that looks like a Charger with a generally, a rebel flag on top. So, wow. He did have some interesting things, and he just didn't want to sell anything. So we're going to zoom back out to this view, and you can get an idea of just how massive this lot was. And again, he wouldn't let folks in there to get parts or anything. He was really just hoarding all of this. He did have a business that sold pallets, and, well, something caught on fire back in around 21, I think it was. And you can see this dark area, this dark patch, and it just cooked all of the cars in that area. Unfortunately, one of the cars in that area was a 68 Cougar, burgundy interior, big block, beautiful car that I had inquired about at one time when I could actually talk to him, and it was toast. So really sad. A lot of this stuff was lost back then. It's too bad he wouldn't sell anything. But he was given basically a couple of weeks. You got to get stuff out of here. New property owners taking over, so that's why he put up the sign. Again, I got wind of it in the last week. So he only had a few weeks to get stuff out of there. And so I went there the last week of operations. And you can see, we're going to scroll through some of these cars. That 56 four-door is pretty neat. We're going to scroll through here and look at some of the stuff that was left. Now, a lot of the good things, I did talk to him, he had already taken out. Stuff that he really wanted to keep. Really good pieces. But there's still some really good stuff here. And if this was not removed by last Friday, it would be crushed. So check out that El Camino and that Ranchero. So I'm going to head over probably later today, and we're going to take a look and see what all wound up being left after the sale and what will actually be lost. And I'll let you guys know. I'll report on it on morning coffee this upcoming Sunday. Let you guys know what wound up getting lost completely. But you can see some of the cars that are here, just amazing, different eras. There's a Firebird, not a Trans Am, but a Firebird there in the background. This Oldsmobile, this Cutlass would have been so neat. Man, it's got all four wheels on it. But stuff from all different eras. '64 Falcon. That's pretty darn picked over. No rear end in it, but the body looked pretty good. Check out this old Dodge truck. Oh, man. That GMC looks like it would be worth restoring. An old 63 Chev, like the one I used to have. This was about the only Mopar in the place, 4-door, but still looked pretty intact. Old Dodge trucks. And check this out. This was a Buick. This was from the 20s. Don't know the exact year, but it had a 6-cylinder in it, and you can see it's pretty wrecked. That'd be a fun station wagon. That looks like it could be redone. Has a rear end in it. But unfortunately, this Buick was in pretty rough shape. Although, if I had a place, I would have picked it up. If I would have had room for it. But I just don't. I zoomed in on the engine. I didn't get a picture of it, but I zoomed in on the engine. You can see it says Buick there, and on the wheel hubs. I'll check out this old Comet. And this Ranchero was in really good shape. So two Rancheros that would have been worth saving. Not much left of this one, though. No. Here, back in the back there, you can see some of the cars that he had pulled out of that fire that I guess he felt were still viable. I can't imagine they were. And check out this Camaro. That looks like it would have been a pretty neat car at one point in time. Look at that Caddy. Man, that'd be nice. Back half of a Camaro. And that Monte Carlo up there. This had the square headlights on it. It looks like it would have been restorable. Now this hood, that's very interesting, I find. Chevelle hood with the cowl induction. There's a perfect car in here later for that. Look at that 4-door 56 Chevy. Wow. Is that a Buick Skylark from like 64, I think? Could be wrong. Oh, man. Whew. What a beauty. And this Comet, not sure if it's a 65, 66, 67. Somebody who knows a little bit more about those, but it was in pretty decent shape. Would have been worth saving, I believe. Now, this is the one that broke my heart. 65 Mustang. Pretty rusty, but it had some really neat features to it. And we'll get to that El Camino in a moment, but it was beautiful as well. Anyway, this Mustang, it had been hit pretty hard in the front, had a 4-speed in it. It's kind of hard to see through the window here. The steering wheel was all dry rotted. It had been here for a long time. Back seat was gone, but yeah, it had been sitting here for a lot of years. But under the hood, I could see it was the 289 with a high-rise 4-barrel Holley manifold or Holley carburetor on there. That would have been worth saving, definitely. Not necessarily the car, but the drivetrain. Yeah, look at this El Camino. Unfortunately, the rear end was gone. No engine, but I think it would have been salvageable. Old delivery truck. Check this out, though. This is a real heartbreaker. All 4 wheels there. The grill was actually in the back seat. This thing, I hope somebody was able to salvage it. And check out the Riviera back there, too. Neat. Well, thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll report back to you on Sunday what I find.